Today on VR Vertical, we're going to discuss this. Steam have a hardware announcement. So whilst I'm wittering on, let's just have this on in the background so they can regale us with their flashy imagery. So, I am a VR enthusiast, and as I keep telling everybody, I suffer from vertigo. Not a great mix. However, you like what you like. And so, here I sit, being slightly disappointed in PSVR 2, because I like a very small niche of games. I like open world, I like first-person shooters. Not a fan of horror games particularly. Platformers, I did that back in the day, back in the 80s. I'm kind of a bit of a first-person shooter, open world, boring old fart. But my opinion is valid, as is everyone else's. And my opinion is we need more VR. Better VR. Because the more VR there is, the better it will become. And hopefully, this is exactly what Steam will deliver to us. On the screen now, you've got the controller, which in some weird way reminds me of the original OG Xbox controller, that big monstrosity of a thing that everybody loved. Or certainly everybody that I knew loved it. It was meaty, you get your hands around it. Controllers became these smaller, kind of graspy Mr. Burns affairs. So I'm a fan of the large controller. And the reason this has me excited, it is kind of manifold. There is so much here that's been announced with regards to the Steam machine. What a great name for a console. It does, however, look like a dwarvish Xbox One. Like somebody cut an Xbox in half. But hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And let's face it, just like the girl you always fancied back in the day, it's what's inside that counts. And so I'm excited for this on many levels because they tell us that it's a gaming console, but they tell us it's a PC and that you can do all kinds of stuff. I mean, look, the potential here is huge. When I was talking about the next Xbox, I said it had to be customizable, that it had to speak to everything. This appears to be customizable, and if we're to believe the rather cryptic, not particularly detailed statement, it'll speak to anything. Do what you want, install your own software. It's exactly what I said the next Xbox should be, and I said the next Xbox should be VR compatible. And this Steam machine is VR compatible. I talked on a video on my other channel, No Access Required, how I was going to buy a PC for gaming. I also wanted it for other things like editing, and I was shooting a short science fiction film. But look, there it is. Everything that I said Microsoft would be wise doing with the next iteration of the Xbox, Steam have just done. If this isn't a shot across the bows of Xbox as they seem to be sailing away from consoles, I don't know what is. If Microsoft have got their house in order, they should be looking at an Xbox branded VR set, not using the MetaQuest. Because the MetaQuest, as good as it is, and I've had this from people I know who have MetaQuests, it's kind of a trying to be everything to everybody peripheral or VR headset. And I'm not sure that's the right direction to go in. I think this, a suite of kit, is the way forward. PlayStation developed their VR headset for the PlayStation 5, of course. And the only problem PlayStation have got is they haven't thrown enough weight behind the headset. They could have done so much more. And I keep wittering on constantly about the back catalogue. The back catalogue, your most valuable asset, and it's not playable? This cures that. Play your games on VR. Play your entire back catalogue. Flat, mostly. Yeah, I get it. But you can bet your bottom dollar, if they've developed this headset, they've got big plans. I said previously that VR was the future of gaming. And it is. Who doesn't want to be king of the new thing? And Steam appear to be placing themselves firmly in that position. If the promise and potential that this announcement shows is actually there in real life. I've seen the first few hands-on with a headset, and there are pluses and there are minuses, pros and cons, and that's fine. But what we do have is the potential going forward to have the most complete, the most rounded gaming experience for VR that it's possible to get. And that is a high value proposition. Which brings me nicely to the value proposition. We don't really have any prices for this. The headset, they're talking in very sort of nebulous terms. They want to bring it in at under $1,000. The console, the Steam machine, they also appear to want to bring in under $1,000. I haven't seen any pricing for the controllers yet, but what would you imagine this suite of technology would cost? If I was to go up and buy the whole shooting match, controllers, not the Steam Deck, controllers, the Steam machine, and the frame, which is the VR headset, what would that cost me? $1,500 for everything? But I can't see that happening. There's a lot of kit here. You would have to think it's at least $2,000. £2,000. Now, we've heard the statements that it's meant to be a kind of PC machine, this Steam machine. It's a kind of I was going to say cobbled together. Let's hope not, eh? It's bridging gaps between a high-end PC, a premium experience PC, and a console. So, what does a PC cost at that level? $2,500? $4,000, $5,000, depending on what you want to use it for. A PC for me, with all the things that I want to do with it, is about $3,000. What do you think? 2.5? It's a question worth asking, because ultimately, this kit needs to be successful. And success is directly translated generally in terms of numbers shifted, the amount of kit you can sell. And that equates directly to the amount of disposable cash people have and whether or not they're willing to spend it on this. My personal feeling is that this has to be around 2K for the suite, for one controller, the Steam Machine, and the headset. You could blow 2K on that and think to yourself, a cracking deal. And it is. What will Xbox do in response? They've said that potentially there's one more console left in them. The market has just changed right in front of their eyes. They now will have to reassess. If they take this seriously, they will have to reassess their plans. They've given us very strong indications that they're moving away from the console market. And I, for one, can't wait to see what they do. I think, like all companies, they'll play it cool. Yes, we're not concerned with Valve. They're a different market, etc., etc. No, don't believe a word. In the immortal words of Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. They've got their ear to the ground. They're checking the pulse as often as they can of the market as they see it. And we're constantly being told that competition is a good thing. Well, let's hope so. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, bye-bye.